Liebe Leute, herzlich willkommen in einem weiteren Interview bei MoreCore.TV und ich freue mich wirklich sehr, dass wir mal wieder Tobin dabei haben. Tobin von Papa Roach. Tobin, welcome.
Great to be back. I'm here. We made it. Made it work.
And it's like we already said, you told me right now that this is the first time you have a talk to someone beside your wife in your bed.
Yes. Yeah, I had to move down to my bedroom because I guess we are having some issues with the Wi-Fi connection. I usually do all my my interviews upstairs in my studio where all my guitars are and try to make it look cool. But this time it's just really intimate. You know, I'm in my bed.
It's definitely a very intimate situation for both of us. So I like that. But if you guys want to see Tobin's studio, just look at the on the old interview we made in 2020, and let us just start there where we stopped last time. The last time we were talking about your best of record, and right now, and when we were talking about your best of record, you told us that you are already writing new songs. Now your new record, Ego Trip, was released a few days ago. And man, these are amazing songs. This is an amazing record.
Oh, I'm glad you think so. Yeah, I mean, we didn't intend to make a record at first, but, you know, since there was really not a whole lot of other things to do during the lockdown, we just, you know, rented a house. Very far away, isolated from lots of people. Moved all the studio gear into this like fun little like, you know, compound where we could swim and, you know, have cookouts and ride dirt bikes and make music all day long and just have fun and, you know, isolate all at the same time. It was just it was probably, you know, it was definitely one of the highlights of the last couple of years.
How long did it take for you to write the record?
Well, we started, two songs were written before the pandemic began. This was in 2019 when we were on tour, or in between tours.
Yeah.
The one song was Kill the Noise and the other song was called Liar. Those two were done. So essentially those songs are like, what, 2 years old? And they're just now finally coming out on an album.
Yeah. That's crazy.
The rest of the songs were written in the summer of like 2020. And then, yeah, that was it. We finished them up a couple months after that, and they've been done just kind of sitting, waiting around for this moment for quite some time. We're very excited now that our 11th child is born.
And it took a while, like thinking of summer 2020, and we're now in the beginning of 22. You released it the first time on your own record label.
Yes.
How did the approach change working with your own record label and releasing it on your own record label in comparison to working with other labels?
Well, I'll tell you what, it's a lot more work, you know what I mean? Because, you know, we're responsible for everything, you know, but at the same time, it's very rewarding. I mean, we get to handpick the people that we work with, you know, handpick the people that we want to surround ourselves with, that, you know, that are inspiring people, that are, you know, creatives, and a lot of them are our friends, and a lot of them are family, and a lot of them are people that we've known and we've wanted to work with for a long time, for the simple fact that we've just, you know, we just built a team of people that we love, that we trust, and, you know, we want to be around. And, you know, it's not like, it's just better environment for us. You know, we're a band that's been around for a long time. We know what we want, we know what we like, we know what works for us. And it's just kind of like an automatic moving thing. So as long as we can just, you know, create momentum, stay inspired, it's all going to work out just fine. And even though we have to be on our phones a lot more, like we have text chains, business stuff, creative stuff, lots of Zoom calls and meetings. You know, it's when you're an independent label, like the band, like the four of us are literally on the phone constantly, just, you know, trying to just manage everything, you know. But we have so much amazing help from our management to our social media people, creative team, to our producers, you know, that we collaborate with. It's just everybody we couldn't make it happen without them.
I can imagine it's pretty hard to change between a creative process and then thinking about the business stuff and all the organization which is included in such a release. So was this a problem for you as a band, or would you say no, it was cool?
Well, I mean, yeah, sometimes I will say it does get to you, like, because, you know, especially when we were on the road recently for like the past month and a half, you know, we were touring, and these like really serious business things would come to light, and we would get pretty worked up, you know, like before a show or something, and then you're kind of taking that negative energy to the stage, and that's not good. And you know, or sometimes we'll have, you know, differences of opinions on certain things, and you know, one person might think this, the other person's thinking that,
Yeah.
and you're kind of butting heads a little bit, and then it's like, oh, you got to go on stage in an hour, but you're not like feeling like 100% together, you know, at that moment. So we've kind of made it, a point not to talk about, or not to have what we call work mouth. You can't have work mouth like right before you go on stage, you know, right before you're about to be creative or anything like that. You kind of have to just save those moments for like its own time, not getting in the way of, you know, when you're trying to get into the mood or the mind frame of going out and you know, performing or connecting with other people, because it can kind of cloud things a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
And so yeah, we're still learning how to delegate all those emotions and stresses and all that stuff.
You also had some featured artists on your new record.
Yes.
I think Fever 333. No one, everyone knows Fever 333, and a lot of people know Sueco. And how did that come that you work with both together?
Well, first of all, we've been huge fans of Jason.
Yeah.
I've been a fan of his ever since I discovered him when he was in the band Let Live. And we're all homies, but you know, Sueco is new. He's like a new friend. You know, he's part of the team now. But that song Swerve was the last song written for the album. Man, it just kind of came about last minute when we were renting like an Airbnb in Hollywood, and our producer Nick wanted to invite some friends over just to like kind of have like a last minute party, hang, you know, maybe write a song. And he wanted to invite his friend Spencer over, who played the saxophone. And I was like kind of giggling at first. I was like, what are we gonna do? Make like a ska song or something? And he was like, no, let's just switch it up, try something different. And I had just programmed a beat. Spencer walked in with the saxophone, took the sax out. First thing he did was play that funky little line from Swerve. And then we ended up building this song together, and it was an instrumental that just sat around for the longest time. Jacoby wasn't really sure what to do on the song, so it just kind of sat as an instrumental. And we started mixing, I think, the record. And then our producer was doing a session with Jason and was like, hey, you want to get on this track? Maybe it'll inspire something. Jason, you know, did a killer verse. And then Jacoby was like, oh man, he heard that. He's like, I got to respond. So he did his verse. And then our other collaborator producer, Colin, was doing a session with Sueco. And then he kind of did the same thing. He was like, hey, you want to jump on this second verse and do something different, just kind of change the mood. And then Jacoby like heard that and was like, oh, I got to do a second verse. Yeah. And then the song, next thing you know, the song is done. Like we rearranged it and made it, you know, this party track that it is. And it's got a good like funky energy, and I love it. And I love the fact that, you know, it includes new friends and old friends.
It's so groovy. I'm a big fan of a track. So would you say new artists are always like an fuel for the creative process in your band, or where did that come, all the creativity? I mean, Papa Roach is a band, I said that 2 years ago, who's constantly evolving in their sound, in the sonic feel of a track, or all tracks. Where did all the inspiration come from, or the ideas?
I mean, the inspiration's always there, you know. We just have to just get out of the way of all the like nonsense, all the bullshit. I mean, it's like the creative process is actually, I mean, it's challenging. It's supposed to be a little bit challenging, but it's pretty fun for the most part. You know, it's pretty easy for us to write songs. Like I said before, just when we have the right team of people around us and we're in a room with like, you know, our friends or, you know, like collaborators that like, you know, just bring joy and inspiration to us, you just feed off each other's energy and you're going to stumble upon something, you know, that makes you feel good. So it's just like I don't know, man, it's just what we do. We just love I love being in the studio.
Yeah.
I love creating new music. I'm constantly writing. There's never a shortage of ideas, you know, like when we walk into the studio, it's like, I've got like 30 demos in my back pocket ready to go. And it's really just like, at least ideas to jump off of. I'm never like forcing, hey, this is the song, play this. It's like that.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, it's like, I'll have ideas, other guys have ideas, and we just sit there and we go through it and we all just pick and when it comes to collaborations or stuff like that, we never try to force them. It has to be something that happens like cosmically. It's a natural thing. Like you can't force, you know, if you say, oh, I would love to have somebody on this track. And then we've tried this before and it's like, you're trying to contact their managers and they're like asking for all this money and they're like, or, you know, they want all these favors or all, it's just bullshit. You're just like, you know what? Never mind. It's like, we're just going to invite people to come over and hang out first. And if we happen to make music, great. If not, then whatever.
That's a very cool approach because I think there is a big business in this whole collaboration features stuff, especially for small bands. So many artists. I mean, I understand that everyone needs some money to live, but I think the business is very, very big today with just having the possibility to book a feature for your next record. So I think I like their approach, especially for you. It's interesting for me to hear that a band like Papa Roach still has to negotiate with someone to have a feature on their record. That's very interesting.
Yeah, well, when it came down to that, we just decided, no thanks, we'll move on.
Yeah, I understand it totally. Okay, after a short interruption, finally you're back in your studio.
I'm back. And I had to charge my computer. Sorry about that. The computer died.
Absolutely no problem. And I'll just need to say, I really love your guitars. It looks so amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I love my guitars too. I play them every day. I just love playing all the time. Every little piece of gear I have in here, I'm just grateful for it, and I have to play and practice every day.
That's very important. It's not just flexing. So very good.
No, not just flexing. Although I probably do have too many guitars, but you know, I'm a musician. You can never have too many.
Exactly. Okay. What I really would like to ask you, we talked about Sueco. You also had a collaboration with Jeris Johnson, both artists who are getting a lot of attention on TikTok. How important is TikTok for you as a band?
As a band, I think TikTok is very important. It just seems like it's a platform where you can just do whatever you want, and it's your own stage to showcase whatever it is that you want to showcase, you know, whatever your brand is. You know, for us, it's music, and it's reeling, you know, people in with our personalities, you know, and it's also an opportunity for us not to take ourselves too seriously and be kind of funny, you know what I mean? And be goofy, because that's kind of how we are, you know? So at first I didn't understand it. And for me personally, I don't have a TikTok. Like, I'm not on it. Like, I don't look at it. I've never looked at it. But for the band and for our business, it's been amazing, just because we've had this new way to make new fans and to stay connected with our old fans, you know, make them laugh, and, you know, just remind them that we have all this, you know, beautiful music out there for them to listen to, and you know, collaborate with other artists that are up and coming, you know, on TikTok, like Jeris Johnson, you know, like it really has been a blessing. And especially since, you know, the lockdown, we've really embraced it, because, you know, we couldn't tour. It was hard for us to do other things. So it's like, well, how can we engage with our fans? How can we engage with people? How can we remind them, you know, that like that we're here, dude. And like we still look good, you know. We're pretty, and we're funny, dude. We make good music, like, and it's like, well, you know, there's TikTok, and it's not just people dancing and you know, stupid whatever. Just we could really just take it and do whatever we want with it, and so we've been having a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, you mentioned your comedy approach on TikTok. Jacoby is very active with videos, and he also has his alter ego when he sometimes makes jokes about perhaps old fans of your band. But a few days ago, I read something like the band is making jokes of their old fans.
Well, that's not really that we're making jokes of our old fans. It's just funny. Like over the years, you know, we've heard it all, we've seen it all, and it's like, it's just, you know, people are going to have their opinions and they're going to make comments. A lot of them are really silly and don't make any sense.
Yeah.
But it really honestly doesn't get to us, because at the end of the day, we enjoy what we're doing. We love what we're doing. We know that this is real for us, you know, and we know that we're connecting with people. And so, you know, we like to just have fun with it. Like we just played a record release show for Ego Trip in a pizza parlor, like Shakey's Pizza in Hollywood. We performed. We invited all of our friends and some people in the industry, and, you know, a bunch of TikTokers and all this stuff. And we played a show, and we had a wall of death. We had a pit inside a pizza parlor. Like, it was insane.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how we got our start, was performing in places like, you know, cafes and pizza shops and little punk rock dive bars and stuff like that. And it's really funny because when we first, you know, had success and we jumped on the mainstream in the early 2000s, like, critics and journalists used to, like, you know, try to mock us and call us like pizza rock. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, we were something that wasn't going to be around for very long, you know, and they're dead wrong. And so it's like, we thought it would be funny to kind of like turn it around and embrace it and be like, okay, cool, pizza rock, fine. We're going to rock this pizza joint. And dude, who doesn't like pizza? I mean, come on.
Everyone likes pizza, and this is the reason your T-shirt was so
cut my life into pizza.
Amazing. So everyone loved that shirt, and this was funny for me reading that you have played the show in the pizza store, because already sure we knew that. Talking about the old Papa Roach, like you mentioned in the beginning of 2000, you had a very famous track on the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. I think you also mentioned that in the show, that Blood Brothers was a big hit. And I think everyone who hears Blood Brothers, when we are doing a MoreCore party and we play Blood Brothers, everyone's like, oh, Tony Hawk's vibes. So would you say that this was a very important or relevant point for you as a band, having that song on the soundtrack?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, anytime we do, I mean, that's a collaboration in itself. You know, anytime we can collaborate with a movie, a video game, you know, the sports world. Like, for instance, when we did To Be Loved for the WWE wrestling, I mean, that was huge for us. And we just have a song that just came out called Stand Up, you know, from our new record, where we collaborated with UFC and ESPN, which is a dream come true for me, because I'm a huge fan of UFC, you know, MMA sports, and ESPN. You know, I love my American football, and so, like, you know, building relationships and having friends in that world it's so exciting. You know, like, I just did a bunch of interviews last week with some UFC fighters, and I was like, you know, I was in awe, you know, because, like, I'm like starstruck with these guys. I have so much respect for, you know, the discipline and, you know, the art, you know, of what they do. And, you know, so I love it.
Cool. And my last question, I'll need to ask it, because you said you just came back from your tour. And what about a tour in Europe, or especially in Germany? Are there any plans? Perhaps next year? I think there's like a 30 anniversary of your band.
Yeah, I have a feeling we're going to be in Europe all of 2023.
That
That's the plan. I feel like we got a lot of stuff that we're gonna do this year. Just making sure that, you know, we just finished a tour where we got to dip up to Canada right when they opened up the borders, and everything went smooth. And then we got to do a show in Mexico recently, and everything went smooth. So it's like, I'm ready to go. I'm just waiting for somebody to book these shows. It's not up to me to, you know, I just think a lot of people in the, you know, as far as like the agents and the management, they're trying to play it safe as when it's okay to go and travel internationally. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm fucking ready now. So I'm just waiting for somebody to book some damn shows, because I want to get over there, you know, so bad. I mean, the whole band will agree that we prefer touring in Europe. Honestly, it's just, we have such a connection with our fans there. We love that they have as much energy as we do. You know, when we step on the stage, they match it, and they make us want to have, you know, want to go off even more and play harder, and we just love that. All the festivals, you know, all the different countries, all the different cultures. It's just like every day is so exciting for us. You know what I mean? So we are eagerly waiting to get over, to cross over back to Europe and the UK and everywhere. I mean, even shit, it's heartbreaking to know that, like, we don't really know when we're ever going to be able to go back to Russia or the Ukraine. You know, it's like, it's sad because we have such amazing fans over there. And especially the younger generation is, you know, they're just like, what the hell is going on? You know, they don't want, I know that they don't want this. And I know that they need music and they need love more than anything. So when it's safe to, I hope we're one of the first bands to get over there.
That would be a very, very good, nice symbol, I guess. So let's hope that this happens, and it will be pretty fast. In case, like, okay, what is fast? We do not know what is fast in that period. But so let's hope that touring in Europe, in the complete European states, will be possible very, very, very soon. Right now, we don't have any limitations here in Germany, so I guess most of the states in Europe reduced them to null. But let's hope that this stays and you can come back. And perhaps with the 30-year anniversary of the band.
Oh, definitely, dude. We're going to be partying. We're going to be having all kinds of anniversaries, all kinds of celebrations. I mean, we're going to go big. We've been waiting. I mean, it's been, it'll be like almost 3 years since 2019 when we were there and we had to cut the tour short. I mean, we're going to make it up. I promise you, it's going to be epic when we get there.
Tobin, thank you for the interview. I wish you all the best for the next days at home. Getting to know with all the things you haven't seen for such a long time. Thank you very much. I really hope we can see us very soon. And das war's. Vielen lieben Dank, dass ihr zugeschaut habt. Wenn ihr noch irgendwas zum Interview sagen wollt, schreibt es in die Kommentare. Wenn ihr noch nicht den TV-Channel abonniert habt, macht es jetzt. Klickt auf die Glocke. Ihr kennt das Spiel. Vielen lieben Dank. Bye, bye.